Welcome to JSA TV, your virtual newsroom for telecom professionals. Joining us here today, we're honored to have Mr. Ambrose McNevin. He is the Content Director and Editor-in-Chief of Data Center Dynamics Focus Magazine. Welcome, Ambrose.
Jaymie, thank you for having me.
And we should note this is a recurring segment. We like to touch base with Ambrose every time a new issue hits the stands. And we are on issue 34. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
I can, thanks Jaymie. This issue covers a range of topics, everything from the Open Compute project all the way through to the telco industry, and I want to take the opportunity to run through a few of those items with you today. Starting with the Open Compute project, we know it's a huge force in the industry. We had the Open Compute Summit earlier in the year, and we went and spoke with Frank Frankowski from Facebook, and he really being the poster boy for the Open Compute movement. And as we said, he's certainly got the most famous beard in the industry, and he's really driving the standards and all of the technical specifications around Open Compute. So we got some in-depth views from him. Obviously, Microsoft was signing up to Open Compute was a massive story to come out of that particular summit, and we've looked in depth at what their motivations are, what they're going to achieve from signing up to OCP. Elsewhere, we've looked at we have a recurring series of articles around the financial services industry ourselves. So I spoke to BlackRock. Now you'll know that BlackRock is the world's largest asset house. It has $4.3 trillion under management, making it quite a significant player. Obviously, it's all about measuring risk. It also controls or has running on its technology platforms an additional $9 trillion of other people's money and other people's assets. So we spoke to them about their data center strategy and how they measure risk in the data center, being that their actual business is measuring risk in the markets. We looked at what is underpinning all of that from a technology perspective, how they make sure they keep the lights on, which essentially keeps the entire financial system going. So that was a fascinating insight to what they are doing. Elsewhere, we have DCD itself has the New York conference coming up, which is on March the 11th at the Marriott Marquis. So we went and did a look at connectivity inside the New York Metro, and we looked in depth at what the connectivity options are for companies setting up data centers in that space, and we also looked a little bit back further at what happened around since Hurricane Sandy. Are people still occupying data center space, commercial data center space, inside or on the island of Manhattan, or how has that affected their strategies in terms of where they're locating? So there's some really interesting views to come out of there in terms of what's happening in that area, Manhattan, further afield out into New Jersey as well.
And that aligns really nicely with DCD's new research saying that there's sort of aging data centers in the New York metro area, and what are the implications of that? Is that accurate?
That is absolutely, yes. We've looked in depth exactly at the space available in the market at the moment and who is starting to occupy that space. Is there any further investment going into the infrastructure, or is that infrastructure actually moving out of the city onto, should we say, metaphorically higher ground, as it were? Other things we looked at, and especially I think especially relevant to the telco audience, we commissioned an article around, do telcos actually understand the data center market? There's been a lot of movement, obviously. We know all the big guys who've made their acquisitions, be it CenturyLink, Verizon, etc. But do those marquee players understand the data center market? How do they change their business models from being just a dumb pipe that's going into the data center and offering connectivity services to the companies in there? Or are they making a serious play, and is this a serious shift in the competitive landscape for the commercial data center operators? Does that shift the type of partnerships they have? Does it shift their go-to-market strategies? And is it shifting the emphasis that the telcos themselves are putting on owning that piece of infrastructure? They've obviously always owned the connectivity play. They've owned the switches. They own that kind of backhaul capacity, but are they looking seriously now at moving into what you would call the traditional data center market and selling additional services from that platform, from that infrastructure layer?
And that's a beautiful transition into the fact that you'll be speaking at our Telecom Exchange West event coming up on March 5th, where this video will be on display. And so if you are walking around right now on the floor of Telecom Exchange, please check out Ambrose. He's the moderator of our Telecom Meets Data Center panel, and we're pretty excited about that.
No, I'm really looking forward to Telecom Exchange West. It'll be my first time at the event, and yeah, handling that panel on terms on data centers and telcos, which will be really exciting. And yes, and then my next stop after that is New York for DCD, where I'll also be chairing a hall, hosting some panels as well. So hopefully anybody in the New York or New Jersey area, hopefully see you on March the 11th in New York. Otherwise, Jaymie, thanks very much for the opportunity to speak to you again today.
Thank you, Ambrose. As always, it's such a pleasure, and thank you, viewers, for tuning in to JSA TV.